Hi there, I am Bob Coppolo. I'm one of the captains and the Commodore of the Ocean Hills Sailing Club. In this video, we're going to describe how one gets on one of our boats, what to bring, how to sign up, and what the boating is about. So I want to start off by saying that the idea of this is to have fun and to do it safely. So we're going to have a captain and a mate on each boat. They're responsible for your safety, and just do whatever they say needs to be done, and you'll be fine and we'll have fun. We have a meeting at the beginning of every month on Tuesday evening at 7 o'clock, and during that meeting we will pass around a sign-up sheet for a particular day or days during the month in which we're going sailing. There will already be a captain and mate named on that sheet. We'll pass it around, and if you would like to go sailing on that date and can commit to it, you will sign the sheet and submit a check for $45 as soon as you can. You can even do it at the meeting. That will pay your way on the boat. That's our cost. Nothing more. We're not making any money here, and it's really a pretty good deal. If you'd like, you can turn in that check at the meeting, and you'll pretty much be guaranteed a spot on the boat. The sooner you get your check in, the higher your priority for going on a boat. So to go on one of these boats, you must be in pretty good health. You're going to have to be able to board the boat, get on and off easily, go up and down a small ladder, goes down into the belly of the boat, and be fairly stable. We don't want anybody to get hurt. It's your first decision as to whether you think you're capable of going, and then the captain has the final say. If the captain sees at the dock that you're not physically able, you may be asked not to sail with us. That rarely happens. So let's see, we've covered that. On that day that the boat goes out, or actually before that, you will be phoned by the captain or mate to confirm the sailing date and that you're coming. And the captain or mate will inform you as to when to meet, and we meet in the overflow parking lot in front of the clubhouse. It's usually around 9 in the morning. We carpool down. The mate for your boat will collect $5 from you, and that covers some of the gas for the driver. We'll arrange the carpooling, and we'll figure out what cars want to stay for dinner. We often stay for dinner because we don't want to really drive back in rush hour traffic, and it's fun to get together after the sail and talk about the sail. It's a good time. So now I want to go into what to bring on the trip. You're going to have a little gear bag. I usually use a day pack. You don't need much. A windbreaker is a good thing to bring, especially, well, even in the summer, and something warmer in the winter. If it's cold out, you might even want to bring a hat and some gloves, a nice warm jacket. You don't want to be cold out there. We'll be out for about 4 hours. You're going to want to bring some sunblock because it's often sunny, and even if it's not, the sun does get through those clouds. So put some sunblock on, bring some with you. Wear a hat, and there's different kind of hats you can bring. The best is one that has a little strap that goes around your chin. Next best, I think, is the kind that has like an alligator clip on the back. You can clip to your collar because it's windy, and chances are your hat's going to blow off. And if it does, it's good to have some way to keep it on you, with you. We do not go back for hats generally. If you tend towards seasickness, you want to take something probably before we leave the clubhouse here, because it takes about an hour to work. Bonine is my favorite. It has the drug meclizine in it. But whatever you'd like to take, is fine. If you get very seasick, you might want to see your physician about prescribing something smaller. I mean stronger, sorry. Okay, at this point, let's go into the clubhouse and see how that procedure works. Okay, we're in the clubhouse now at the front counter, and in case you wanted to go sailing but hadn't signed up yet during the meeting, or if you just wanted to turn in your $45 check, you do it here at the front counter. And first thing we do is ask the person behind the counter to pull out the Sailing Club folder and the envelope. So let's do that now. Excuse me, could we please have the Sailing Club folder?
Folder?
And the envelope.
And the envelope. Folder.
Okay,
And the envelope.
thank you. Okay, let's say we simply want to sign up for a trip. We haven't signed up yet.
Okay.
Open the folder, and inside, maybe not on top, you will find a San Diego sailing sheet. This is one that's already filled out. When you see it, it will be probably more in this condition, a blank form, with the captain and the mate mentioned on the top two lines. Simply sign up your name below that, your phone number, whether you can drive or not, whether you've paid or not, and whether you'd like to stay for dinner or not. And go ahead and read the bottom of this. It gives you some further information. Once you've signed up there, you need to find this envelope, which is not in the folder. It says Sailing Club dues, but there are a bunch of little envelopes inside of it. So let's open that up. And this one is for dues and clothing. That's not the one we want. This one says monthly day sales. That's the one we want. So if I had a check, I think I do actually. This is a check that's made out to the Ocean Hills Sailing Club for $45 per person. If you're a couple, make it $90. And you simply put that check inside the envelope. Return all the envelopes to the big manila envelope and hand them back to the person behind the counter. That's the end of that procedure. I want to mention one other thing about your sailing bag that you're going to bring on the sail trip when we actually go. And that is, you want to bring some lunch. You're going to eat on the boat while the boat's moving. You want to bring plenty of water or other beverages that you'd like to consume along the way while we're sailing. And any snacks you might want. That's really important. Don't forget your lunch. Okay, now we're going to go out to the overflow parking lot and continue this there. Hi again. We're now in the overflow parking lot in front of the clubhouse. We're pretending that it's the day that we actually go sailing. Before now, your captain or mate will have called you and told you what time to meet here. We usually meet between 8:30 and 9, but it's up to the captain to make that decision. At this time, we'll congregate, have a little social time, and the mate will collect $5 from each person that's going to ride with a driver. This helps defray the cost of driving down there. And we're also going to sign the liability waiver form. Now this is required here legally, and basically it just releases liability. You've seen these forms many times before. Here it is. You print your name here, your phone number, and then your signature. And try to make it legible because someone's going to have to read it later, probably our treasurer. So after that's signed and we load into the cars, we carpool down to the Harbor Island Yacht Club, and we're going to head there right now. See ya. Great. So now we've driven down to San Diego. We've arrived at the Harbor Island Yacht Club. It's a beautiful day as usual. The wind's blowing. Should be a great day for sailing. So the first thing we want to do when we get here is the captain's going to check in at the office and pick up the keys to the dock and to the boat. And you're going to want to make a restroom stop while we're here, because they've got some nice restrooms right here at the yacht club. Then we'll load all of your gear onto a push cart, and we'll all proceed to the dock gate together, because there's only one key. The captain has that key, and so you want to stay in a cohesive group so you can all go through the gate to the docks together. Then once you arrive at the boat, you'll want to wait at the dock until the captain and the mate have cleared the boat. And that means they're going to go on board first. They're going to make sure everything's working properly, the engine starts, the sails are working, and they're going to check things out. When they're all done checking things out, and a plane is going over because we're right next to the airport here, so I'm just going to give them a second to fly over. Okay, so the captain will now have the gear loaded aboard and stowed down in the salon before anybody gets aboard. And you can kind of set up kind of a bucket brigade from here. And there'll be a small step stool down there to help you get on board when you do. But first we're going to load all the gear and get that stowed down below. So at that point, the crew can board the boat, and then we have some safety procedures to go through while we're on the boat. So we're going to demonstrate first how to get on the boat. So I'm going to get off. And put my stuff down because I want to have both hands free to get on the boat. So I'm going to reach for something here, take a step here, use both hands if possible, get on the boat. Notice I'm always holding on to something, because especially while we're underway, you want to be sure that you're holding on to something, because the boat can change positions. Then in Forrest will come back here and demonstrate how to get down the companionway. That's the ladder that leads to the bottom of the boat. This is called the companionway, and we go down the companionway backwards. There's a thing to hold on to on your right side. You want to make sure to hold on to that, and you go down backwards, down below. Okay. 3. We've now come down the companionway, and we're down in what's called the salon. And at some point during the trip, you may have to use a restroom. On the boat, that's called the head. And it's in a little room here at the bottom of the companionway. There's a small door, which you open here, and step inside. And this is the marine toilet. And it's not too hard to use, but it's important that you know how to use it correctly. So the first thing is, open it up so you can see what you're doing in the bowl. Then there's a switch here. It has 2 positions. You should see it in this rightmost position, which means the valve is closed that brings water on board. So you want to use the toilet, the head, and then switch it over so that water can come into the bowl while you're pumping. I don't know if you can see that in the video, but it's now pumping water in as it's also pumping water out. And this is going into a holding tank that's on board, so everything is kept on board. You want to do this about 15 to 20 times, depending on what has gone into the bowl, and the only thing that should go in is human waste and toilet paper. And after all those pumps, you set the switch to the right and pump some more. This will only let water go out of the bowl. None is coming in. You want to pump this until it's completely dry and leave this in the rightmost position. Close this down, and if you need toilet paper, it's usually kept up here, or it may be out already if someone else has used it. But there should always be toilet paper on board. And that is how to use a marine head.
2, 1.
Okay, so now we're all on the boat. Our gear is stowed down below. And in stowing that gear, you want to keep it as low as possible, because when we heel over, which means kind of the boat's a little bit on its side, we don't want things falling on the floor. I like to keep things on the floor that are breakable, so they don't have very far to fall. So want to be sure to stow that stuff good. And I want to mention that the captain and mate run the operation of the boat. The captain's in charge. He'll give orders or requests to the mate. The mate will carry them out. The rest of you are welcome to just come along for the ride, or if you'd like to help out and learn how to sail, mention that to the captain and he or she will accommodate you as best as possible. We even train some of our mates when we go out on these and let them back the boat in or out if they'd like to, or do anything else they would like to do just to get the practice. Okay, we mentioned going down the ladder backwards as you're going down the companionway. It's really important. It's much safer that way. And here we're just really concerned about safety. We don't want anybody to get hurt. That's paramount. And we want everybody to have a good time. So safety really is important. As we get underway, the boat can heel over. And what I mentioned about that earlier was that it will tilt to one side sometimes quite a bit. And it can be a little bit scary for a moment until you get used to it, but the boat will not tip over. You don't have to worry about that. So as we're underway, this is called the boom, and it can swing somewhat during certain maneuvers on the boat. So you want to be sure and not let this have any possibility of hitting you in the head. That can happen if you're careless, and it can knock you right off the boat and really do some damage to your head too. So be aware of this thing. It does swing quite a bit like that, and stay out of its way. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to go sailing. So let's pretend we're doing that. We've gone sailing. Now we're coming back to the dock. The captain and mate put the boat back into its slip. And now that the boat is secured and they've tied it up with the dock lines, the captain will have the gear bags unloaded first. So we want to make sure to put all your personal items inside your gear bag before it's brought up. And then we'll do the bucket chain gang kind of thing, getting all that equipment off and into a dock train again. And let's see, all that goes into the push cart, and then the group will return to the parking lot after the captain and mate close up the boat. And we're pretty much done. You might use the restroom again at the yacht club before you head out, and then a lot of us go to dinner afterwards. That's optional, but it should be arranged before you even leave Ocean Hills. Who's going to stay? Who's going to go back? We like to stay often because you avoid rush hour traffic, and it's a great social time for everybody. So by this time, hopefully you've had a great day of sailing. Everybody's safe, and we're having happy hour drinks and dinner. Hope you enjoyed the trip.